Have a good day, everyone. Today, I'll be sharing with you my research capsule proposal. I am Herminio B. Cabusog Jr. of Bukidnon State University Talisayan campus. The title of my paper is The Effects of Playing a Novel Board Game on Risk Perception and Asset Allocation Strategy, a Quasi Experimental Study. Now, the background of the study is based from the passion of the researcher in innovative learning through gamification and game-based learning. With this premise, the researcher chose to design a material in a form of a board game to be utilized in teaching some subjects taught in the university. This action is driven also by the mission and vision of the university. The objectives of the study are as follows. Number one, to determine the effects of playing a board game on the perception of risk and asset allocation strategy among the students of a satellite campus in Bukidnon State University. Second, to present a functional board game as an instructional material in teaching investment and portfolio management, specifically in the areas of risk management and asset allocation strategy. And the second and third one is the registration of a novel board game for a patent. Now, concerning the review of related literature, I summarize some of the literatures utilized in this paper. In the design of the board game, I followed the ideal way of designing a board game using the human-centered design of prototyping, particularly the rapid prototyping. And accordingly, content analysis is used in designing a board game. And the paper, as we know, is a quasi-experimental study. There are literature that shows that a quasi-experimental methods is a fitted method in designing or researching related to board games. In the fields of pharmacy, there is a pilot board game, and the effects and the results shows that there is an effects on learning and collaboration among students once they play the board game, and then on project management as well, and also on problem solving. Other researches also shows that playing a board game has increased the life cycle thinking, or the LCT. Now, the framework of the study follows the IPO model, the input, process, output. The research process starts with the rapid prototyping, followed by the test and analysis and evaluation and patent application. The input phase starts with the rapid prototyping, utilize the human-centered design in four-step process. First is to determine what to prototype, then build and run the prototype, test several prototypes, and integrate feedback and iterate or iterate. After the prototype is finalized, the process phase where the researcher tests the participants on the effects of playing the board game. And the test comprises three phases: the pre-intervention, the pre-test, the intervention, the mid-term test, and the post-intervention, the post-test. And finally, the output are the results from the analysis and evaluation of iteration and intellectual property registration. Now, the research design of the study is a quasi-experimental research method where we start the rapid prototyping, the brainstorming for ideas, selecting best ideas, then build the prototype and run, iterate, reiterate, and follow the feedback loop, polishing the prototype until we come up a functional prototype. Now, in the process phase, we have the interventions between the comparison group and the treatment group, where there will be pre-test, the mid-test, and the post-test. The analysis, the statistical analysis utilized in this paper is the t-test and regression. So we try to compare means between groups and regression to test the effects of playing the board game among the treatment group from the results of their pre-test, mid-test, and post-test. So above is the diagram showing the methodological process, and then the results, the treatment and comparison group must be different from each other in order to establish that the board game works on the participants, and then the patent registration for the board game. And then in sampling procedure, the participants are volunteers, sign up the consent forms, and students, and they are students of a satellite campus. In a particular satellite campus, there are 648 population of students from third year and fourth year level of the academic year of 2021 and 2022, and there is a two-stage sampling. The sampling from the population, the researcher utilized the proportionate systematic random sampling at 15% from the total population. Thus, the sample is approximately at 100 participants. The sampling for the treatment and comparison group, so to divide the 100% into treatment group and comparison group, the researcher uses the simple random sampling using roulette sampling to divide the total sample into two groups, thus having 50 members in its group. The ethics statement of the paper follows the deliberative balancing approach to decision making by Safis et al. 2019. So we consider both substantive values, procedural values, identify potential action, weigh relevant ethical merit of options, select options with stronger ethical weight and reflection on influences, and then we communicate the decision transparently to our participants to make sure that no ethical violations may took place in this quasi-experimental study. Now, the plan for the dissemination and utilization of this paper is for publication. Second, for research presentations and patent application of this novel board game. So the references are as follows, mostly in the year 2019 up to year 2022. And here are some of the documentations that we did, we designed, and then later on we come up with a very refined prototype. Actually, we have a third party. We outsource this, and we are proud that this will be the only handmade paper designed by hand board game with our third party outsource supplier, the Salai Handmade Papers and Industries. Thank you and have a good day, everyone.